I broke my tripod in this one. My bad.
What are we working on today? Let me tell you. We've got a Dreamcast shell, which came across from, I think, Venezuela. And it is to replace a shell that was yellowed. So all I've done so far is completely disassemble the old Dreamcast. Probably should have recorded that as well, but you can have a look at photos on my website, retrojunkie.net, if you're really interested. Now, the top wasn't as discoloured. Now to remove, I'll just tell you right now, to remove that sticker, I just used a flat blade screwdriver, sort of get in under the T or the D and sort of wedge it up. Comes up quite well. The bottom of the machine was more yellow than the top. So we had, you can see that there, it's pretty bad. You can use Retro Bright to fix that up, but I wanted a more permanent solution, which is where this nice smoky case comes in, because smoky case can't discolour. So you'll just want to go through and look at the innards. Mold spores. These haven't been in storage for long. And I found that the out of all the consoles, the Dreamcast is probably my least favourite to take apart. The design, everything's just miniaturized. It's like a Saturn, but much worse. Much worse. So go through and clean your case out, get all that mould out. If you're lucky though, you didn't get any mould. It's on the outside as well. That's better than it was. So next step is to get the everything across. So we're missing from the old case, power button and the fan. We're doing a BA1 on this one. You can also probably swap across this, but that was discolouring on mine. The text isn't the same, the font isn't the same, but beggars cannot be choosers. So you'll probably need a screwdriver, as always. We'll have a look at the Dreamcast mainboard up close as well, shortly. Whoops. That's the power button. This big wrist down there. And then that kind of goes around there. Oh, these screw holes are fresh. Just crack? I heard cracking. Now we're good. Breaking it in. As long as it doesn't snap, I suppose we're good. That's not going anywhere. So that's the power button. You need the fan, which also requires a smaller screwdriver. I'm going to use a flat blade because I can't find my other ones. I think they're in the kitchen. Alright, so the fan comes out with just 2 screws. You can give it a clean if you want. There's not really much to the fan on these. I apologise in advance for all my sniffing and coughing and snorting, but this cold or flu, it isn't going away. And this screwdriver is not magnetized at all. Alright, I'm going to the kitchen to get a real screwdriver. I'll be back. They even found a magnetizer. The future is now. Okay, so the fan's in. Even comes with the modem casing as well, which was pretty damn cool. So the old case is now retired. I don't know whether I should take that sticker off and the serial number. I might leave them there. Although if I end up retro brighting this anyway, just as a test, I don't want them to be on there. Next step. Let's see. Probably this, which is just the EMI shielding, which just simply sits in. It's also got 2 heat pads for 2 of the components on the underside of the main board. Oh, I just brushed one off accidentally. If you damage them or break them, don't worry too much. You can pick them up on eBay, get a new one. Alright, that's back on for now. So this then goes in here. There we go. Cool. Now here's the main board. I'll give you a good look over this. So the main board itself is pretty compact, and it's an awfully light board. After dealing with Sega Saturns, this thing doesn't weigh a thing. So as you can see, the 2 chips there that need cooling are these 2. I've got more heat pads which then go into this heatsink here. But as you can see, the board itself is quite compact. Very light. Very light. I mean, it's ridiculous how light it is. So there's the board. If you're going to do a some sort of mod involving the BIOS, you'll be messing around with that chip there. Well, I haven't done it yet, or haven't had the need to yet. I probably will, and it probably will be this board that I do it with. But I'm not just there yet. That's the SH Hitachi chip. And that's the main Sega chip. So let's continue pulling it apart before putting it back together. Now when you do take it apart, you'll notice that the heatsink part on this EMI shield is attached very well. So be careful not to tear the heat pads if you can, if you don't have replacements. Just make sure you align the holes properly when reassembling. Anti-static precautions are probably also recommended. But I've got 6 of these to go through, so... This one breaks, there's always more. And I think the best way to remove this board is to sort of put it on an angle like that. Okay. Camera falling, camera falling. I need a better tripod or a bigger bench. Whoops. We'll be right back. Whoops. 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 Alright, I need a new tripod. Well, the main board's in there, that's the main thing. Then you just gotta, those are bits of the tripod. Bugger. Worst makeshift stand ever, but it's all I have, so I do apologise. So once you've got the main board in, you'll want to put the screws in. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws total holding the main board in. There are 2 gold ones, Goldie 1 and Goldie 2. They go on the left hand side. I don't know why they're gold, but whatever. All the other ones are black. The black ones are slightly longer than the gold ones, so do not get them mixed up. You'll be putting holes through things. Speaking of holes through things, I've trapped the fan cable under the main board. There we go. Set free. Don't make the mistakes I do. Monkey see, monkey learn. Good thing is it's a transparent shell, so I'll be able to see the disc spinning, which I think is quite exciting. Which shows you how often I get out. It's not a very nice day outside today, overcast. Okay. Mainboard screws are in. Next bet's probably the controller board, which plugs in the front here where the controller ports should be. So 2 gold screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 black screws. Keep up, everyone. Alright, so controller board has 4 screws. It also has a cable that runs from the main board, so you just need to make sure you put that in the right way. Be firm but gentle. Here's the controller board itself. Not too much to it. There is a battery, which usually is broken by this point 10 to 12 years in the future. It's a rechargeable. The actual model's covered up by the tab. That's annoying. Just have a look on the internet, you'll be able to find out what it is. There's also this thing here, which is a fuse apparently. If your controller port stopped working, that needs to be replaced. So go on eBay selling them, so it's pretty exciting. So controller board now needs to go in. I would change the battery if I had another battery, but I don't. Four gold screws along the front. Note these gold screws are different in colour, size, same in colour as the other ones for the main board. Much longer though. Looking pretty good. Controller board, main board, fan, power switch, and up next is either the power supply or the optical drive. Ooh, decisions. Let's go with the optical drive. Pretty sure that's the order I took it out in. Now these drives are good for the GD-ROMs, the gigabyte discs. On here we've got one problem. It's this little tiny switch at the back. This little fella here. He detects whether the drive door is open or not, which can lead, if that starts to malfunction or break, the unit can just restart suddenly, which is bad. Also, not reading discs can be caused by the laser failing. You can get them on eBay. I haven't tested them, I've got some here myself, but they look quite difficult to fit. Now the other problem that you can have is random resets. It could be that, or it could be this, these pins. On the PAL models, you need to bend them toward the contacts on the power supply. We'll come to that next. But on the American models, or I guess all the NTSC, the Japan ones as well, I suppose, you need to bend it the other way. And apparently it can solve the problem. But with that said, I had one that was doing it the other day and it ran fine for 2 hours. So I think there's a deeper issue there rather than just bending pins. But you know, I mean, I could have bent the pins and it could have worked for 2 hours. I would have thought it was fixed. Obviously that wouldn't have been the case. Anyway, optical drive. Enough rambling. Just pick up the optical drive. Be very careful because the unit separates quite easily. It's not actually screwed in or anything. Just held in by magic. Now you've got a connector on the base that goes onto the main board, so you want to make sure that lines up properly. Otherwise you're going to damage something. There we go. Connected. Mostly. And it's just a matter of installing the 3 screws. Just a matter of installing the 3 screws. There we go. And that is the optical drive installed. GD-ROM. The only thing we're really missing now is the protective cover to stop the power supply shorting on the metal case and the power supply itself. So they're up next. Alright, we're back with the power supply and power supply protective cover. Protective cover just sits in there. Power cable goes under. The power supply itself. These are quite reliable power supplies. Sega obviously learnt something from Saturns, where they were not as reliable. So there you go. Nice looking power supply. So I'll just pop that in. Now the pins. I might have a look at the pins first. So there are the... Can you see them there? If you can't see them, I'll focus the camera a little more. There we go. And so the power supply pins come through on the top. So you want to kind of squish these a little bit. Oh, they're already pretty squished up there. What you really want to do is bend these ones toward you. Preferably doing them all at the same time so they're all at the same. And that way, once the power supply's in, be very careful when handling the power supply. Do not mess with capacitors. They will hurt you. Connect the power. We should be good to go. Looks pretty good. Just pop the top case on, see how it looks. Wow. Oh god. What's happening? Need screws. Don't forget the power supply screws as well, which I forgot. 2 right there. Gold screws again. Different size, of course. We're done here. As you can see, it's a pretty good looking case. Modem. And the lid open all the way. Yeah, who cares? I don't. Demo up next.
Time for a demo.
Here we are with the Dreamcast. Just using a backup disc of Bomberman. I drew a line around it so I could watch it spin. Was it worth it? Yeah. Recommended. The only thing that sort of sets this aside from the genuine Dreamcasts is that I don't have a Microsoft symbol there, logo there. I'll be honest, I don't really care. Thanks for watching. RetroJunkie.net for more. And as always, thanks for watching.